Welcome back to Game Gentleman News, where we scour the world of gaming to bring you the top 10 headlines each and every week. Here are the stories you should know from February 4th to March 1st, 2020. Number 10. Capcom and Square Enix have both scaled back their plans for PAX East due to the coronavirus. While neither are pulling out of the event entirely, Square Enix have stated that they would be scaling back panel appearances, signing sessions, and fan gatherings, largely because the team travelling from Japan would no longer be in attendance. Capcom have mentioned in a tweet that while they would be moving ahead with their Monster Hunter event, the developer team would no longer be attending. Unlike Square Enix, Capcom did not specifically cite the coronavirus as the reason for this change. Meanwhile, Boston's Mayor Marty Walsh has sent a letter to PlayStation CEO Kenihiro Yoshida urging the company to reconsider its attendance at the conference. In the letter, Walsh cites concerns around the coronavirus as both being anti-Chinese and anti-Asian, stating that misinformation is playing a central part in the fear of the virus growing in the US. Number 9. A tweet from the official RE Games account has announced that a demo for the upcoming Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake is on its way prior to the game's April 3 release. While the tweet did not state when the demo would be available, with just over a month left to release, we can't imagine it will be long before we know more. You may also remember that last year's incredible Resident Evil 2 remake received a one-shot demo, allowing players to play 30 minutes of the game just once prior to release. Number 8. A feel-good news story has surfaced in Japanese newspaper Asahi Shimbun. The story was written by 70-year-old Kuniko Susaka and tells of her mother who still uses her original Gameboy to play Tetris. As she turned 95, her health had started to decline and the handheld had stopped working. The story goes on to tell that the writer had struggled to find stores locally who could repair the device, and that her son had mentioned that Nintendo provided excellent customer service. Kaneko went on to send the device to Nintendo via post and received a reply a week after. The note stated that while they could not find parts for the device, instead they had found a brand new Game Boy in the warehouse and sent that along with a note wishing her mother a long life. Number 7. The National Video Game Museum based in the UK has formed the Video Game Heritage Society, made up of a network of museums, collectors and other institutions to pool their resources on the preservation of video games. Members include the British Film Institute, British Library, Museum of London, National Science and Media Museum in Bradford, Bath University, and a range of independent collectors. The Society has already preserved a collection of classic British developed games and are currently displaying them as an exhibit in the National Video Game Museum. Number 6. EA Games has banned FIFA player and streamer Kurt Fennick, also known as Kurt0411, from the entirety of its games and services after serious and repeated violations. Fennick was originally banned from FIFA events and competitions back in November 2019 after he had allegedly threatened employees and other competitors. Several days after the ban, a number of EA staff Twitter accounts had been hacked with messages of support for Fennick, and several support staff had reported significant personal abuse. Fennick has responded to the announcement in a series of tweets alleging that the ban is part of a wider conspiracy. Number 5. A documentary about the beloved Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise will debut at Mammoth Film Festival in California next week. Made by Swedish filmmaker Ludwig Gur and Ralph D'Amato, the documentary tracks the state of the skateboarding industry in the early 90s and how the game had helped propel the sport back into the mainstream. It will feature interviews with Hawk himself along with skaters Rodney Mullen, Chad Muska and Steve Caballero, all of whom have made an appearance in several games. D'Amato was a producer from the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater right through to 2008's Tony Hawk's Project 8. Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen will both be attending the premiere for a panel discussion after the screening. Number 4. Platinum Games have announced in the third of 4 expected statements that they will be opening a new Tokyo-based studio. Opening in April, the studio will be around 100 people strong and will focus on live service games in a departure from the studio's specialty of producing single-player action titles. The first 2 announcements that Platinum have made over their official website include the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter we had previously covered and a new project titled Project GG. Platinum Games president Kenshi Sato has noted that the new studio and Project GG are both ideas facilitated thanks to the recent investment by Chinese company Tencent. Number 3. Hideo Kojima is set to receive the BAFTA Fellowship Award at the upcoming British Academy Game Awards in April. The award is the highest honour the Academy can bestow and is a lifetime achievement award recognising an outstanding and exceptional contribution to film, games or television. Thank you very much for this precious BAFTA Fellowship Award. I am very honoured and would like to take this moment to reflect on the many predecessors that came before me, as I deeply respect their contributions to entertainment, whether in movies, television or games, commented Hideo Kojima. I would like to also thank those who have supported me over the years, and I will continue my commitment to creating new and innovative ways that will push the world of play and entertainment forward. Previous recipients of the award include Tim Schafer, Peter Molyneux and Shigeru Miyamoto. Number 2. Xbox's Phil Spencer has given us a glimpse into the Xbox Series X specs in a blog post on the official website. The post highlights the future of gaming and the expectation that the gaming community has on the next generation of consoles. He mentions that the new console has been part of their internal take-home program and that the feedback has been energizing. Spencer goes on to outline some of the specs and hardware of the console, including a custom processor based on AMD Zen 2 and RDNA 2 architecture, which is 4 times more powerful than the original Xbox One, and enabling up to 12 teraflops of GPU power. The console will utilize patented variable rate shading, which will allow the system to prioritize processing effects on particular elements within a game, resulting in stable frame rates and high resolution. As well, they will be looking at hardware accelerated ray tracing, bringing more realistic lighting, reflections and acoustics within the game. The console will also feature SSD memory, HDMI 2.1, dynamic latency input, a quick resume feature, and support for up to 120 frames per second. On the delivery side, Spencer notes that users will be able to play across 4 generations of Xbox titles, the continuation of Game Pass, and a feature called Smart Delivery, which means that users who purchase any cross-generational first-party title will be able to access them on both Xbox One and Series X. As an interesting side note, developer CD Projekt Red have also confirmed this is how cross-generational compatibility will work on their upcoming title Cyberpunk 2077. Spencer closes out the blog post stating that the Series X has been designed with the player at the centre, and we expect Xbox to reveal more, possibly including price, at E3 2020. Number 1. The Game Developers Conference has officially been postponed. After a week of news surrounding publishers and exhibitors such as Kojima Productions, Gearbox Software, Electronic Arts and Amazon all pulling out of the conference, the GDC themselves have made an official statement on their website. The statement reads, "After close consultation with our partners in the game development industry and community around the world, we've made the difficult decision to postpone the Game Developers Conference this March. Having spent the past year preparing for the show with our advisory boards, speakers, exhibitors, and event partners, we're genuinely upset and disappointed not to be able to host you at this time. We want to thank all our customers and partners for their support, open discussions, and encouragement. As everyone has been reminding us, great things happen when the community comes together and connects at GDC. For this reason, we fully intend to host a GDC event later in the summer. We will be working with our partners to finalise the details and will share more information about our plans in the coming weeks. The ESA has confirmed to Game Informer that it is monitoring the situation closely in relation to E3 this year, but at this time are moving ahead at full speed." And now you're all caught up on what's going on in the world of gaming. Detailed links for any of this week's news stories can be found in the description below. We're a new channel here on YouTube, so your support really helps. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll be back next week with more gaming news.